Welcome back to 90 Seconds Plus with Invercargill City Mayor Nobby Clark. So there's a lot happening. Invercargill Central is up for some nominations for the awards later in the next month or two. And also we're going to touch on Wachner Place as Tuesday's council meeting. They seem to give it the tick of the approval. We'll move to the next step. So tell us about it, Nobby.
Sure. So Wachner Place is really important. So we're doing a joint venture, which means that Jeff Thompson, who's developing the hotel, will manage that project for us. We will contribute, and we'll have some controls over him. But look, the lesson we learnt from the City Mall, or ICL, was that I personally believe that these private sector guys can do better than us.
Leading the project
anyway. Getting things done. Look, in COVID times, nowhere in the country have you brought a major project like that in on time and on budget, give or take a little bit of change. So that's a real credit to the Jeff Cottons of this world.
And Scott O'Donnell's.
Absolutely. So we've got to realise that that's a good way forward, and that's what we're doing with Jeff. And the beauty of it is $10 million saving for us, potentially.
Just on that, so because council staff, they priced it at an estimated $14 million. So
on that option.
And now council's up to $4 million.
Up to $4 million. It may not be that much.
That's right.
Depending on what they find when they dig the ground up. But Jeff and his team, which includes Hayden, has got some really good ideas about the clock. Bring the clock forward.
Just makes sense.
Making the framework around the clock itself more futuristic, so it'll be quite unique. It won't be old and tired like it is at the moment. The mechanism in the clock will be upgraded. That's where some of the costs will come in. Whether that means that the bells can chime at some time, which we don't really want around accommodation, and we don't want around Darren's studio either. But it may be on New Year's Eve that they could chime or something. I don't know. It might be they have a separate mechanism to run the clock itself over and above what you see down below, which is what people are interested in. But I think it'll come forward towards a visual picture between the pillars. I think it'll be absolutely great. On the ICL, we're up for a national award, which is great, given that in this day and age there's not many big projects doing what we've done, which is take a whole city block and change it.
That's right, a complete block.
And being able to retain some heritage facades and that. I wasn't in favour of keeping the facades, and there was a huge cost involved with that. But it has been really stunning, really great.
Especially the old Selling Times building, you see that now, and then even just the entrance to the old Cambridge Arcade. I think they've done well just to bring the old with the new.
Well, look, I get lots of people. I bump into places like Dunedin, Central Target, who actually come here because they just want to have the experience, which is really great. And I think when Jeff's got his hotel going there, if we get 100 or 150 people coming into that hotel every day on average, I mean, they've got to spill over into the mall. And so for some of the eateries and some of the stuff in the mall and around Esk Street and things, that's got to be good business. It really does.
Good for the big retailers and inside the mall and outside, because Esk Street's now rejuvenated, and a lot of people are still some people out there hanging on to that Wachner Place is the heart of the city. It's been a crap hole for years, and if you look at now, we've got Esk Street and Invercargill Central as the new centre heart, or whatever you want to call it. And then we've got the Don Street as well for more of the night markets and entertainment. Our city's never looked better. And again, it's sort of returning Lower East Street back to what it sort of was in a way by opening it back up, removing the Wachner Place, which some people claim is stops the wind, which is nonsense, because you look. I've got photos which we'll have a link to where. Back in the 70s and 80s, before they did the Wachner Place, it was all open and it connects the city. And again, it just makes it easy for those visitors staying in the hotel to flow back up. Too many people are focusing on the whole bus thing. It's about reconnecting the city and bringing that whole thing back together.
Quite right. And it's been a real credit to the developer to do that.
Totally.
In today's environment, putting money into anything, including hotels and tourism, is a bit of a risky venture. But he's prepared to do that. Obviously passionate about the city. So as Scott is, really good stuff. And we get the museum done, which is the stage is still on track. Open after I've finished doing my time, will be great as well. Though there are 3 big projects, and nobody believed we could do all 3 in one sweep, but we have. And to do them basically within 1 term or 1.5 terms is lightning fast.
It is. It's great.
It really is.
Well, it's been really good, and see, again, just back to this council, it's about getting stuff done rather than fighting, and, well, most of the time fighting each other. It's actually focusing on what's best for the city and our community, which is getting stuff done.
Yeah, look, it gets a bit scratchy at times, and politics is a nasty world at times as well. People's egos get away with themselves, but I'm quite focused on getting that stuff done. I just want people to look back 5 years and say, well, he was the guy that got that sorted. I don't care about some of the internal stuff that's just a bit niggly at times.
Totally. But again, our city's just looking so good now, you know. I mean, again, we had to do something with the downtown block because it was a disaster and it wasn't inviting. And if we're serious about getting increasing our tourism and bringing people to live and work here, then we've got to have a town centre like we've got now, which is the mall, and as I said, back to Esk Street, and then the new joined Wachner Place. And even just with the design, I see it's going to be great for the likes of Hell Pizza and even what's the other one? Hell Pizza and Amigos, with a nice outdoor area there now, because at the moment it's a bit average and rough, whereas it'll look a lot better for summer, especially when we do get some sunshine.
The biggest critic that I had about Wachner Place is you-know-who. Won't mention her name because, you know, I have to sleep with her every night. And she just absolutely hated the idea of the bus going through. Now that she's seen the plans of what we've got potentially there, really excited about it all. And the upgrade of the clock and the new design for it will be stunning. And again, just moving the clock back closer, it just reworks the whole pillars that are there. I mean, they're a hangover from the 90s last upgrade, but it actually says moving those. It would be shame to move them now, unless it's for an earthquake reason, I guess. But with the clock coming forward, it just sort of streamlines it. We'll do our best to retain them. It would have to be a pretty dire outcome, earthquake-prone wise, for us to pull them down. If it needs some strengthening, we'll probably go down that track just to retain them, because it does make the clock look really good. If you just had the clock standing there, it'd look a bit awkward, but the pillars look great. And it's going to be good to have the clock to work properly again, because at the moment it's correct, twice a day. Well, that's 90 Seconds Plus with Invercargill City Mayor Nobby Clark. Make sure you have a link. We'll have a link attached below, so you can check out some of the old photos of how Wachner Place did look before it was turned into Wachner Place. See you next week.